Hey, it's Cuneta. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys something very, very personal that happened to me a few months ago, something that made a significant impact on my life. And like I said, it's very, very personal, and some people close to me actually told me to not make a video about this and to not share this, but I feel like I should. You know, it's a part of my journey, it's a part of my life. It's something that has shaped me into who I am, and it's the truth. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the story of how my own mother called the police to kick me out on the street. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it actually did happen to me a few months ago. And for those of you guys who have been watching my videos for a while, you know, a few months ago I was posting videos about how I had to move suddenly and how I was going through a really, really tough time in my life with my family and all kinds of stuff like that. And this is actually what was actually going on at that time. So this happened a few months ago in April. I remember very, very clearly. It was actually, spring break is when this happened. And long story short, just to give you guys some background, my parents got a divorce. They got divorced a few years back, which is a whole nother video, me talking about that. But like I said, long story short, they got divorced a few years back. My mom ended up with the house. At that time, I had my own apartment and everything. I was working at AT&T and all this stuff. But I moved back home with my mom for a while. I quit my job, and at this point, that was when I started my YouTube channel, because I was really lost in my life. I didn't, I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. So I moved back home, quit my job to free up some time and to kind of gain some clarity on my life. And like I said, I moved back home. I was living in the garage. I lived in a garage for a year and a half, and I made it a lot nicer than it sounds. I put in carpet and stuff like that, but I was living in a garage. And I moved back there to, like I said, just kind of hit the reset button to really kind of find some direction in my life, to discover my purpose, to discover my passions. And that's when I started my YouTube channel. I started uploading videos every single day. I was also driving Uber Eats and Grubhub every single day just to pay the bills. And I really moved back home just to better myself and to better my life. And after a few months, I actually started to butt heads with my mom a little bit. She always had this kind of hostility towards me. I don't know exactly why. I think ever since the divorce happened, she kind of went into defense mode, and she felt like everybody was against her, even though that's definitely not the case. But like I said, we kind of started to butt heads. She just really did not agree with my life, which makes no sense to me, because I was, like I said, just literally working hard every single day to get my life in order, to set a good example for my siblings, to also support my siblings, not just financially, but also emotionally, just to be there for my siblings. Because, after this nasty divorce happened in my family, my entire family seemed like, it was falling apart. After all this, they never had really any counseling. My little siblings, I have 3 little siblings, Antonio, Nick, and Cecilia, and, they're a lot younger than me as well, but still, they didn't really have that kind of support after the divorce happened, and neither did I, really, aside from my girlfriend. But yeah, like I said, it was just a messed up situation. At that point, like, my family felt like it was all messed up. It was definitely really, really tough to go through. But like I said, talking about the divorce, as is a whole nother video, just the divorce itself. But yeah, like I said, I was just at home. I was, working really hard at trying to get my life in order, trying to get my YouTube channel off the ground, just trying to create a better life for myself and a better life for my siblings. And that's really all I was doing. But like I said, my mom always kind of like made me feel like I was like a loser. She just kind of like had this perspective of me, like that I was just at home. I wasn't, paying rent. I was helping financially. I was paying some bills. I was paying my brother's phone bills and stuff like that, and a bunch of other things. I was bringing food home all the time. But she just had this kind of perspective of me for some reason. Like I was just mooching off of her, like I was just some kind of parasite, just living in her garage. And it was ridiculous. I had a key on the door just to, have my own privacy. Like, I'm an adult. I feel like I should have, the right to do that. I grew up in this house since I was 7 years old. I lived in this house since I was 7 years old, literally. Like, if that's my house, my dad was paid for most of the mortgage, since I was a little kid. My dad is one of the most amazing people that I've ever met. He's so nice. He immigrated here from the Philippines. He's done nothing but work hard. For a long time, he worked 2 jobs just to create a good life for his kids and his family. Like, my dad is, like I said, one of the nicest, most amazing people I've ever met. And, like I said, then in the divorce, my dad ended up having to move out. My mom essentially kicked my dad out of the house, which was terrible. Like I said, for us to all go through as the children of the family. But like I said, the divorce is another video. But at this point, like I said, my mom and I just started to butt heads. She, for some reason, like I said, I don't get it. Like, I was working hard 7 days a week, and I was expressing that. She knew that. She knew that I was working hard. She knew I was working on my business. She knew I was driving 7 days a week. But for some reason, she just treated me like I was a loser. Like, I was just moved back home. I'm just sitting in the garage all day doing nothing. Like, I'm just mooching off her. Like, I'm taking her food. Like, it was ridiculous. I have absolutely no idea why my mother would treat me like this, or why my mother would have this perspective of me. Like, I'm not a bad guy. Like, honestly, deep down, I'm not a bad guy. Like I said, I really am not. Like, I don't know if it's just because I wasn't working a traditional job, or because I wasn't going to church anymore. Like, she forced me to go to church my whole life, which I, ended up not really aligning with as I grew older. I grew into more of a spiritual kind of person, not attached to any specific religion. Like I said, I don't know if it's just my values didn't line up with hers or what, but she just had this hostility towards me. She just had this like negative kind of view on me, and I don't really get why. I honestly don't. Like, she treated me, like I said, like some kind of like parasite, some kind of like, I don't even know, but it was ridiculous. And we would get into fights and stuff, and unfortunately, that's just the truth. That's just what it was. But at that point, I didn't really have any other options. Like, I would have definitely moved out. But I was, like I said, working on my finances. I was working on making money, saving up money, paying off debts, getting my business going. I was literally just trying to keep my head down. I was like, whatever, I'm just going to keep to myself, just mind my own business. Honestly, for a long time, I tried to not even communicate or interact with my mom, which sounds sad, but it was just such a negative relationship, such a toxic relationship, and just a negative situation. So like I said, I just tried to keep to myself, keep my head down, and keep working and keep on going. But she just pushed and pushed and pushed, and she just wanted me out of the house basically after a few months. And I was at that point, I was living at home for about a year at that point. But like I said, I was just making YouTube videos every day. At this point, I probably had like a couple hundred YouTube videos already created. So I was working hard, like I said, driving every day, and I was just working really hard. And at this point, it was about, a little over a year, and this is when it all happened, all right? This is when, it all went down. And I remember very, very clearly, like I said, it was spring break. It was the beginning of April, and actually, my girlfriend's family invited me to go down to Disneyland with them. Her little sister had a cheer competition down there, and they were just gonna spend the week down there by Disneyland, go to Disneyland and stuff, and just have a nice week off, and to me that sounded amazing. They've taken me on vacations before, guys. If any of you guys are watching this, thank you guys. You guys are amazing. But like I said, they invited me down there to California, to Anaheim, and to me that sounded amazing, right? Because all I've been doing is working. All I've been doing is, fighting with my mom. All I've been doing is working on my YouTube channel, and to me it sounded amazing just to take a week off for my mental health, or just to, like I said, just take a week to just relax and enjoy myself and get away from all the drama, get away from all the conflict. And that's what I did. So I went down to Anaheim with them. It was amazing. Like I said, we stayed in this super nice hotel, and we just went swimming. We went to Disneyland. We went to a cheer competition, like I said, and it was just a nice week. Now, however, as I'm on vacation with my girlfriend and her family, trying to enjoy myself, I got a text from my mother. I'm going to share with you guys the exact text message. And here we have Thursday, April 4th, right? I look at my phone in the morning. Patrick, I got your letter. So I wrote her a letter, before I left, just saying that we're going to figure this out. We actually had a conversation before I left, and she knew I was going on vacation. I just talked to her like, hey, I know we haven't been seeing eye to eye, but let's figure something out. I'll contribute more. I'll pay more rent. Like I said, we can come to a, compromise. We can come to a solution. I told her that. I told her that I still loved her. She's still my mom. And even though we've had our differences, I want to make this work. And she basically agreed with me. She's like, yeah. We like hugged it out and everything. And I left. And a couple of days later, as I'm on vacation, like I said, she texts me this, okay? Patrick, I got your letter. I'm afraid that it's too late to make a deal. You cannot stay in the garage any longer. you need to figure out where you're planning to stay when you get back from California. You can't come back into the house. You need to arrange a time with me to come and get whatever you want from the garage. I haven't touched anything or gone into the garage. So basically, as I'm on vacation, trying to enjoy myself, trying to just, like I said, take a breath, she texts me this, that I am now homeless. That when I get back home, I have nowhere to live. Even though I was just in a freaking garage, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I didn't have any other family to stay with. I didn't have, any options at all. Like I said, at that point, I could not afford to get my own place at all. Like, I just wasn't financially there. Like I said, I was working on it, but I wasn't there. And I just paid a bunch of debts off. I had just reduced a bunch of my expenses. Like I said, I've been doing nothing but trying to get where I want to be. But here I am on vacation, and now she texts me that I'm basically homeless. So I'm here on vacation. I remember I had to leave the hotel room and like just take a walk for a little bit. And it was definitely hard on me. It's like, I'm like sitting there like, how can this possibly happen to me? Like, I'm literally on vacation and I'm finding out that I'm homeless, like my own mother. Like, it's baffled me, and it was really, really hard for me to hold things together on vacation. Definitely shed a few tears, definitely had a lot of stress going on in my head. And it was really, really hard time for me. And then a few days later, I tried to just ignore it. I tried to just focus on the vacation just to enjoy myself. And a few days later, I got another text from her. Hello, Patrick. This is Sunday, April 7th. This is a few days later. Hello, Patrick. I've changed the locks so you won't be able to get back in. Let me know what time you want to come and get your things from the garage tomorrow. You need to let me know in advance. So here I am. Not only she's kicking me out, she literally changed the locks. She changed the locks. So when I get back home, I literally will have nowhere to go. I literally have no way to get in my own house that I grew up in, like I said, remember? So it was literally just baffled me. I was like, how is my own mother doing this to me? This is absolutely insane. And she told me right before I left that we can come to a compromise, that we can figure this out. She told me that right before I left. Like, it's insane, right? So just imagine that. Like I said, oh my gosh, guys, this is like almost hard for me to talk about. Obviously, this is like getting me fired up right now. It's getting me kind of heated up. But yeah, here I am on vacation, basically finding out that I'm now homeless. Like I said, I don't really have anywhere to go. I can't stay with, I wouldn't be able to stay with my girlfriend's family. They were actually living in a hotel because their house flooded, and they were there for like 6 months. They actually just moved back home recently. And so they were staying in a hotel room, their entire family in a little hotel room. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to just move in with them like my mom like expected that or something. It's just really stupid. My dad had just got his own apartment finally because he was living with his family for a long time after my mom kicked him out. But it's a little apartment, he's there with, my brother, and I wouldn't be able to move in with a German Shepherd and a cat, and all this stuff is just, there was not enough space. So literally at this point I was like thinking like, I'm gonna be living in my car with a cat and a dog. Like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, I was like freaking out on vacation, right? And it was just obviously extremely stressful for me, like my own mother doing this to me. Like, it still baffles me to this day, really. So basically what happened is I got back from vacation. We, after the week at Disneyland and all that stuff, we get back, to Washington, fly back home. And here I am, like, what am I gonna do, right? Like, I had no idea. So but basically what I ended up doing is we got home, my girlfriend's family, they took me to my house, and without telling my mom that I was actually there, I came back in and I actually was able to like squeeze my way in by the garage or something like that. I found a way in even though she locked me out. I don't think she was home at the time, or I think it was really late at night. And I ended up getting back in. I think my little brother let me in actually. All I had to do was like call him, like, dude, just let me in, please. And obviously my little brother let me in. He's not gonna lock me out of the house. That's absolutely ridiculous. But I ended up getting back inside my room, and at this point, like I said, like I had nowhere else to go. Like, it's literally live in my car, be homeless, or just try and stay here. And what I did is I just tried to stay there, just tried to like whatever, just let it blow over. Maybe, maybe things will work out in the end. So that's what I did. I went back inside, and actually what I did was the next day, my mom was gone. I think she was at work. I changed the locks on the front door because obviously she changed the locks. It was really insane. Like, she changed the locks to where it locked like on both sides, so you had to have a key to unlock the door from the inside. It was insane. So it was some crazy like lock system she put on there. So basically what I did when she was gone, I just like took it off and I replaced it with the brand new lock. And I gave her a key when she got home. I'm like, look, you know, I have nowhere else to go. I have no other options. I have nothing else to do. Like, I don't know what you want me to do, but here you go. Here's a key. It's not like I locked her out of her house or anything. I just gave her a key, gave my brothers keys. You know, obviously I had a key, so we all had access to the house. And I'm like, look, you know, I have nowhere to go. It's either I live in this garage or I'm homeless. That's it. Like, and that's what I told her. And still, she pushed back. She got absolutely enraged when she found out that I did that. When she found out that I came back home anyways, she went nuts. She got so angry. And she had my uncle come over one day when I was gone and like bust the lock off of there. She literally hammered the lock off the front door, put another one on there to try and lock me out again. It was just insane. And through me just trying to stand my ground and stay there, what happened one day is she called the police. I actually got this, you know, my siblings told me that, hey, look, she called the cops, you know, oh my God, like, what are we gonna do right now? She actually called the police. I think my dad was there trying to, like, you know, figure out the situation too. And basically, like, they're telling me, like, oh, we should just leave right now, you know, we shouldn't be here right now. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stand my ground. This is, like, absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna stand my ground. I'm gonna talk to the police officer, if anything, try and figure out what's going on. And I'm gonna share with you guys some actual footage of the police coming to my house. I did record the whole thing pretty much. And basically what happened was the cops showed up. We're all out front. You know, my mom's there, my dad's there, my girlfriend's there. We're all out front just to kind of figure out what's going on. And the police basically, you know, obviously my mom called them, so they're gonna be on her side right off the bat. It's this female police officer that showed up. And basically what happened is she asked me like some questions. She asked me like what I'm doing with my life, what I'm doing to better myself and better my life. And I told her I've been doing nothing but working 7 days a week for the past year, driving, you know, Grubhub, Uber Eats 7 days a week, working on my business 7 days a week, trying to set a good example for my siblings, trying to get my life in order. I told her, like, just straight up, like, that's all I've been doing. And basically I told her that my mom right here is trying to kick me out on the street to where I'm homeless. I have pets, I have a dog, I have a cat, and I literally have no other options. And the officer basically told me that my priorities weren't straight. She said my priorities weren't straight because I'm taking care of animals instead of like moving out or whatever. And it's like, are you gonna tell me that? Like, what do you want me to get rid of my pets? Those are like my children. She's like, it just absolutely made zero sense. She basically didn't listen to my story at all. She didn't listen to my dad at all. And she just took my mom's side right off the bat. And everything I said, she just totally disregarded it. She just told me to like step back and stuff. And basically at that point, she just kind of went over and whispered to my mom everything she needs to do in order to legally evict me from the house. She told her she couldn't just kick me out. She couldn't just change the locks, which I knew. I knew my rights. You know, at that point, obviously, I'm going to figure out my rights. And she told her that, you know, everything she needs to do to go through the court and get the whole process going to legally evict me. And at this point, it's like, great. Like, you know what I mean? The officer ended up leaving after that. And my mom's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to evict you. Like, my mom was prepared. She was prepared to go to the courts, get the lawyers, whatever, spend all the money she needs to spend. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I went inside. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and at this point, I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, for my own mother to actually call the police on me, that was like the breaking point for me. Like, at that point, that was like, I don't even know who this woman is. Like, who would call the police on their own son for just trying to stay in a garage, just trying to have somewhere to sleep, somewhere to live. Like, literally, she just did not care at all what happened to me. Like, none whatsoever. Like I said, it still baffles me to this day. I still don't like fully comprehend it, fully understand. But like I said, at this point I was like, look, you know, I told my mom, I was like, look, you know, you're gonna go to the court, you're gonna pay potentially thousands of dollars to get, you know, all the things you need, the lawyers, whatever it is, to legally evict me. I asked her, just please just give me a little bit of money to help me. We'll leave right now. I'll figure it out on my own. And she told me no. She told me she would rather pay thousands of dollars to the courts, to the lawyers, whatever, to legally evict me rather than to give me any money at all to get on my feet. Like, straight up, she was just like, no, that's it. I'm not having any of this. I'm in control of the situation. She definitely had some kind of control thing going on in her head. Like I said, she was like backed in a corner for some reason. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't even know what to do. And I was freaking out. I was like just trying to find somewhere to stay just to get out of there at this point. It was just terrible, like, honestly. Like, there's obviously no coming back from this at this point. Like I said, her calling the police on me was like the breaking point. Like, I'm so done with this. Like, and what I did was I was, just trying to figure out where to stay. I was like talking to my cousins, talking to my friends, whatever. And my friend Caden actually allowed me to come sleep on his couch for a while, who was just actually my old roommate, who I used to live with. He's been my best friend since like 7th grade, so I've known him for a very long time. And my friend allowed me to, like I said, just come over and stay on his couch for a while. And I do live with him now in actually a different house. Had to move a couple times, but I'm now officially here for the long run. In this house, we have another roommate as well, and it's all figured out now. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much what happened to me. Really, that's ultimately the whole story of what happened. It was definitely really, really hard on me. I actually haven't spoken to my mom at all. It's been almost 5 months now. I haven't said a single word to her. I have seen her at like a couple of family events, but it's like I have absolutely no interest in talking to her, no interest in communicating with her at all, really, because there's just nothing to say. Like, there's really nothing for me to say to her. Like, at this point, it's just like, it was such a toxic relationship, which I really don't understand why I was attacked so much. I really don't understand any of it. And it sucks, honestly. It really sucks. Like, my other siblings go and do stuff with my mom and my grandma and all this stuff, and they're always doing stuff. And it's like, I want nothing to do with that. Like, I want nothing to do with her, and that's what it is. And like I said, I know it seems sad. I know it, it's a messed up situation, but that's what it is. Like, I'm not gonna, make effort to rebuild that relationship when after what she did to me. It's like, absolutely not. So, but yeah, like I said, guys, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the story of what happened to me, of how my own mother kicked me out on the streets, not caring what happened to me. She called the police on me. She changed the locks on me. It was insane, like I said. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, just wanted to share that story with you. Just wanted to, share with you a really big, thing that happened in my life. Something that definitely made an impact on me. Something I'm still definitely figuring out and dealing with. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching once again. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to check out the description. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Got plenty more coming soon. Your mind is much more powerful than you think. Have a great day. Peace.